Good Saturday evening. You're tuned in to Investing Insights with Barry Burnett on Talk Radio 790 KABC, Real Estate Radio Network, with my personal commitment as your host, Barry Burnett, to make your real estate investment life stronger, safer, smarter. Coming up next, we're going to introduce you to the CEO and founder of Real Estate Radio Network, Ron Quintero. Ron, you're on the line.
Barry, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Ron, you started Real Estate Radio Network, and you've got a very extensive history in real estate and finance. Why don't you give us a little background?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you on getting out of the blocks with the show, and I'm real excited about what you're going to be doing with the show. We started the Real Estate Radio Network about 5 years ago in 2009 when, foreclosures were up and prices are down. That's what we saw in the evening news all day, every day. And it wasn't all bad. There's some areas, as an example, I'm from San Diego, and the La Jolla real estate market really was not hit hard. Pockets of Pacific Beach were not hit hard. There's a lot of pockets that were doing okay, but that wasn't getting out in the news. So we decided we wanted to create a platform to be able to tell the balanced truth. If you look at the big media, I'm not going to name names, but most of the evening news, it's sensationalism, it's negative news, it's headlines. And if it's not bad news, it's not in the news.
You're kidding. You're kidding, right?
No. And so we said, you know what? We need to basically get a platform to be able to counterpunch the negative media. And what I'm really excited about your shows, we've launched over 180 radio shows in the last 5 years around the country that are hosted by local real estate and mortgage professionals to be able to deliver the balanced, timely truths regarding what's really going on in the market, plus at the same time to be able to expose your listeners to the right-hearted professionals in your marketplace, not just mortgage and real estate, but financial advisors and insurance, some of the other people we'll be talking about, and to be able to pre-screen them ahead of time to basically give them an introduction to professionals that they could trust within the marketplace. You're going to be the first show out of the 180 plus that we put on air that is going to be also not talking about just the regular residential resale market, but focusing a lot on investing tips and using your platform as a medium to be able to basically have it as a tutorial where you're teaching your people lessons that they'll be able to apply in their lives. And when I met you here in San Diego, I was really impressed by your depth of knowledge. So let me ask you a question if I can.
Sure, Ron.
What's your experience to host a radio show focused around giving real estate information?
Well, I'm really glad you asked that, Ron. I've been around for a couple of weeks, done a couple of things for a few families. Oh, wait. I started when I was 19. I've been in the real estate business for 41 years, owned my own company for 38 years. I've had some real fun. I've actually been able to assist over 4,000 transactions where families achieved their portfolio and housing objectives. And that's kind of a lot. So that part gives me a little bit of a staging ground. But I've also had the privilege of being an expert witness on a bunch of different jurisdictions, including federal tax court and federal court. I've had an opportunity to teach real estate finance, advanced finance, secondary mortgage marketing, and some real estate law on the university level for about off and on, more off than on, but for about 37 years also. Other than that, not much.
Yeah, other than that, a little sarcasm there. The question I want to ask you, and I know that when I met you, I had an opportunity to sit down and really just kind of pick your brain and get to know you better. I know that you have a real passion about getting a person into a property and not letting them go. And then once that property settled in, getting them involved with investing in real estate and building out their portfolio. Would you mind talking about that a little bit?
Well, you're right, Ron. I've had the privilege of helping an awful lot of first-time home buyers, but also a lot of first-time investors. It's the first one sets your foundation, and then each of them grows so that you can objectify your dreams. You can quantify your dreams and start to live them out. Instead of having your dreams be way out there, you can really make it come to pass. And when we get somebody started, We want them to make a really careful and capable decision. We want them to work, as our show's buzzwords, stronger, safer, smarter. So we want them to start out with a good clarity of what they're trying to accomplish. Make sure that it meets their personal objectives, that it fits into their framework. They're not fighting against themselves with every single decision down the path. Some people buy something and it's just wrong, and they shouldn't, but there they are. They've got it, and then we can help them reestablish and redeem themselves on that property and any other additional properties. So as we develop somebody's real estate portfolio, or somebody calls us in to analyze their portfolio, we want to know them, what suits them. This is not about Barry Burnett Realty or Burnett Commercial Properties. This is about the client, what's good for them, what will make them sleep well at night and feel like they've met all of their financial objectives and their family needs.
You know, one of the things that you're pretty passionate about, and I don't know exactly how you say this, but you say it in a way that it kind of strikes a chord. You talk about how you know so many investors that their real estate owns them. You know that thought process I'm trying to get out here?
Ron, when you and I were talking about that, the real thing is that a lot of people purchase their portfolios. They worked their brains out. They have established objectives they've met or exceeded. They've changed with the variations in the economy. They've endured. They've slugged it out, and they find themselves just getting beat up. And there's a redemption for them. We can help them reestablish why they got into it, what they were trying to accomplish, and then we can give them a restart. What we don't want is for an investor to have a portfolio of 3, 5, 20, 50 properties that own them. See, what I've discovered in my 41 years in the business, we've got the average portfolio owner who owns 5 or more properties for investments is already 60 to 85 years old. And only about 20% of them have an heir within their family who they've trained or who is specifically capable of taking over where they leave off. So a lot of these folks, they can't go on vacation. They can't leave for a long holiday. Sometimes the property just simply owns them. And we want to give them back their life. We want them to be stronger, safer, and to do all of this smarter.
And also at the same time, I guess, reestablish their portfolio, reorganize their portfolio, and let them be re-energized about their life again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Some people, Ron, have gotten so possessive of their properties that they've adopted them as a second or third or fourth a child. And then that child then commands so much of their emotional energy that unless that's really what they wanted, they need to kind of swear off of it, rethink what their priorities in life are.
I know you're a proud grandfather. I know that you're a proud father. If one of your kids came up to you and asked, is now a good time to invest in real estate, what would be your answer?
Yes. Yes, of course. It's always a great time to buy, as long as you're buying smart and within yourself, within your own soul, as long as you're getting good, solid, objective wisdom from wise counsel. It's always great to invest. And sometimes you have to leverage your brains out and count the risk, and sometimes you have to be extremely careful and safe. But yes, it's always a great time to invest, as long as you're investing smart and wisely. You're tuned into Investing Insights with Barry Burnett. I'm your host, Barry Burnett, on Talk Radio 790 KABC with Ron Quintero, the founder and CEO of Real Estate Radio Network that you can hear in how many markets, Ron?
Over 180 markets now around the country.
Wow. Excellent.